appalling weather shows no sign of letting up here at Anglesey as the cars get ready to go out for race 3 of the Mazda MX-5 Super Cup. Tom Roach on pole position, but Luke Herbert in second is going to be trying to take that win off of him. It's over to Andy to take you through the rest of the grid.
Thank you very much, Lloyd. Go and find yourself somewhere warm and dry to sit and watch this one because the conditions are about the same as they were for race 2. Not very nice. Tom Roach and Luke Herbert, though, that's a nice prospect. The top two in the championship again start on the front row. Ben Short and Liam Murphy, row 2. Jack Harding and Richard Wicklund, Brian Chandler and Johnny Greensmith next up. Keep an eye on Brian Chandler, could be on for a good result in this one. Jake Bailey and Carl Garner round out the top 10, ahead of Sam Tatler, Alistair Kellett, Aidan Hill, Simon Orange. Paul Sheard languishing down in 15th in race 2. I don't know why, perhaps just didn't quite have the right setup for the conditions. He may well move forward in this one. The series sponsor there, the Clapham North MOT and Service liveried car of George Grant, improving steadily this weekend, 21st in race number 2. And cars continue all the way down to 30th place. Greg Catton was our only non-finisher, remarkably, in the first race of the day. He'll be looking to improve in the last encounter. So round 18 of the championship, Tom Roach needs to do exactly what he did in race 1, beat Luke Herbert, hope a few cars get between the two of them. What sort of games will Roach play in this one maybe? It was interesting to hear from Ben Short after the second race, wasn't it, that he expected those two might even take each other out. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope we get some good clean racing as for the final time this weekend. The lights go out, we're away. Good start looks to have been made there from the third row by Richard Wicklund, but he's got nowhere to go with it. Down towards the first corner they go, they're all the way safely, and who will come out of turn 1 ahead? Is it Roach, is it Herbert? It is Roach, with Luke Herbert immediately having to fend off 3 or 4 cars. Richard Wicklund, Liam Murphy and Ben Short all together. Johnny Greensmith in there as well. Herbert runs a bit wide, that opens through on the inside for Wicklund. This is not the start of the race that Luke Herbert needed. He wants to get himself in some clean air and just sort of follow Tom Roach in the early stages. He's really having to fight a rearguard action though here. He is just about hanging on to second, I think, as they slip and slide their way through Church for the first time. Jack Harding's gone backwards. He's plummeting down the order. He's behind Brian Chandler now as well. He's at risk of falling out of the top 10 if he's not too careful, but it is Roach that leads the way. Herbert second, Liam Murphy in third, who will be keen to try and get himself into second if he can. He won't care that it's the championship leader he's dicing with. Onto the brakes they go. Understeer there for Luke Herbert on the way in as they went over the crest. Wicklund is there in 4th, Ben Short down to 5th, but looks up the inside of the silver car, who in turn looks up the inside of Liam Murphy. They did well there not to trade any paint. Out of the corner they go. They stay in the same sort of order. Who's next in line? That's Brian Chandler and Johnny Greensmith side by side by the looks of it. Back through the through the right-hander at Peel they go. Look at the lead that Tom Roach has pulled out. All of the battling behind has just allowed him to check out, and he is looking good for maybe his second win of the weekend. For second place, it's anyone's guess though. They're all absolutely together. Luke Herbert has managed to fend them all off though, which is important because now he is building a small gap over Murphy, Wicklund and Ben Short. They battle away for third place. Ben Short looking up the inside of Wicklund into the hairpin. Oh, and Wicklund in turn goes up the inside of Liam Murphy. The three of them meet in the middle. Do they make contact? They just lean on each other slightly, and Ben Short makes 2 places in 1. What a brilliant bit of racecraft that was from Ben Short. He went up the inside of Wicklund. Wicklund attacked Liam Murphy, and it was Short that came out on top. So he's into third. Murphy and Wicklund now still wheel to wheel for 4th place. Wicklund on the outside, but that is the grippier side of the road. Does Murphy give him room on the exit of the corner? Not really, and so Murphy will hang on to 4th. In fact, that really did lose Wicklund momentum, and he tried to get across then to defend from a very agitated Brian Chandler. Chandler was up the inside and had to really check up to avoid contact. He's got his hand out to the cockpit now, in fact, so he may even have an issue with the car, but that was very close indeed. Yes, Brian Chandler, well, what a shame. I thought he might have been on for a good result in this race, but he is grinding to a halt and appears to be out of the race. Now, there is Jack Harding. What is Jack Harding doing? Way down towards about 10th place at the moment. He is losing ground hand over fist in the early part of the race. It's Jake Bailey, the black car, that he's racing with at the moment, and Jake has just gone through. So Jack Harding, who admittedly did seem to struggle slightly in the slippery conditions in the second race, having won the first race fairly comfortably in the dry weather, maybe he just doesn't quite have the wet weather setup where he needs it. The conditions are near identical to what they were in race number 2, maybe a touch wetter, but that will make little difference. The cars should feel pretty much the same as they did in race 2, and Jack, if they've made some setup tweaks to the cars, if anything, it's made it worse rather than better. Carl Garnett is the car behind him, and then Sam Tatler. Jake Bailey there, dark blue, almost blackish number 14 car. Well, Tom Roach is going to have a very lonely race at this rate, because if what we saw in race 2 is anything to go by, he's probably got the pace to actually extend that lead margin even further over Luke Herbert, who's looking a bit more comfortable now in second place. There is Jake Bailey, having got past Jack Hardy, he's now closing in on Johnny Greensmith. So Jake Bailey, conversely, looking really good in the wet here. Jake was 9th place in both of the first 2 races, in fact. So looking now to try and get his best result of the weekend. And Johnny Greensmith nearly ran right out to the edge of the track, but that's the way you've got to do it through that hairpin. You go in very wide on the way in, get the traction, get the car to turn in through the apex, and then get on the power as hard and as early as you dare to try and propel yourself down the back straight towards the bus stop, the final corner. There's Carl Garnett, Sam Tatler and Aidan Hills in number 80 car. Aidan was running quite well at the start of race 1 before dropping down to 10th. His second race was not any better. He was 13th place, in fact, in race 2. And he's running about there at the moment in this third race as well. So Aidan Hills' weekend has suffered slightly as a result of the poor weather. Back through the first corner they go, and in towards the banking yet again. Carl Garnett continuing to have a really solid season, into 10th place in the championship coming into this weekend. He was 14th in race 1, he was 10th in race 2 though, and he's looking for another top 10 finish here in this one. Back with Liam Murphy and Richard Wicklin here as they turn their way through Rocket. This battle still raging on for 4th position. Still the same order in the top 3, Roach from Herbert from short. Here is the 4th place squabble, Liam Murphy and Richard Wicklin. Richard, who has been a bit anonymous really through the mid part of the season after a strong showing early on. He has now dropped outside of the top 10 in points, so really for him it's just all about trying to recapture the spark that he had not only at the start of this season but at the end of last season. So he'll be quite looking forward, I think, to the final few rounds coming up in 2017 at Circus that he ran well at a year ago. Maybe looking for a couple of race wins along the way. There's no reason why he couldn't do that. Closing in on Murphy again as they come out of the hairpin. This one of the closest battles inside the top 10 now, and Liam Murphy looking a bit vulnerable here. Richard Wicklin looks the quicker of the two. He's looking to the inside now in towards the bus stop, but not really close enough to make that one stick. So instead he cuts well out wide to the edge of the track to try and find some grip across the start-finish line and on to the final lap of the race. Tom Roach has been completely uncontested in this race. He's going to take another race victory, and by my rudimentary maths, if things finish as they are now, which at least for he and Luke Herbert that looks to be the way it will finish, with Roach in the lead with the win and Luke Herbert in second place, I reckon they'll go back to pretty much exactly the same sort of gap between them in the points that they had coming into this weekend. It was 13 points the difference in Luke Herbert's favour coming into the Anglesey triple header. If they finish as they are now, there'll be 14 points between them in Luke Herbert's favour, so Luke will have gained 1 point. A lot of hard work, isn't it, really, to gain 1 point in the championship, but despite the fact that Tom Roach looks like he's going to beat Luke Herbert in 2 of the 3 races, it's only going to be by 1 position in each. Of course, Luke had 2 cars between himself and Roach in the first race. So, and also the fastest lap in the first race for Luke Herbert has helped him on his way too. So through Peel comes Tom Roach for the final time. The rain has abated slightly, but the conditions have certainly not improved all that much, have they? And Tom Roach making his way through the left-hander at Fisherman's, has only 2 more corners to go. Open top cars, of course, these MX5 Supercups, so the drivers will get out looking rather wet and miserable, but Tom Roach, I think, will be pretty happy actually with his afternoon's work. 2 race victories from 3, and okay, he's lost a point to the championship leader over the course of the weekend, but it's only a point, and he'll still definitely feel that 14 points is achievable over the remaining few races of the year. Down towards the final corner he comes. Tom Roach proving yet again that he is the Rainmeister of the Mazda MX-5 Super Cup, turns his way towards the start-finish line and wins round number 18 of the 2017 Mazda MX-5 Super Cup. Second place though, racking up the points, will be Luke Herbert. A really, really solid weekend for him. He's done everything he needed to do. Third place for Ben Short, just ahead of Liam Murphy and Richard Wicklin. Those two really caught the 68 machine towards the end of the race. It is though Tom Roach that takes the victory. Second for Luke Herbert, third Ben Short, fourth Liam Murphy and fifth Richard Wicklin. Greensmith is 6th, Jake Bailey is 7th, Jack Harding down in 8th in the end, ahead of Aidan Hills and Sam Tatler rounding out the top 10. Then it's Carl Garnett, Paul Sheard improved to 12th from 15th on the grid, ahead of Nathan Bell, Alistair Kellett and Gary Townsend. Will Sharp gets his first top 20 of the weekend there in 20th position, and we lost in the slippery conditions, perhaps surprisingly, Jeremy Crook, Brian Chandler and Greg Catton didn't even make the start. So what has that done to the championship? Well, as I suspected, 14 points now the difference. But Tom Roach still within striking distance with still 6 races to go. Liam Murphy now very distant third. Johnny Greensmith now only 5 points though, ahead of Jack Harding for fourth.
Tom, as Meatloaf once sang, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Congratulations.
Thanks very much. Yeah, great day today. Love it in the rain. Got to say massive thanks to the boys at Blandini, especially Yoku, who's been getting the car ready all day. It was brilliant to drive. You know, the wet setup on it works really well, and yeah, just great fun driving around, even though it is tipping down with rain.
Luke, damage limitation today, really?
Yeah, I mean, after the pace we had yesterday in the dry, you know, it's disappointing it rained, but I mean, Tom's unstoppable in the wet. I think if it continues raining for the rest of the season, you know, he might be able to nick the championship win. But I think we've gained, you know, we've increased our lead over the weekend by 1 point. So overall, the weekend's been a success. You know, 3 seconds. Tom's had 2 wins and a 5th. So I didn't gain points, but I didn't lose points. So it's a pretty good weekend.
Ben, a really tough race out there, especially in these conditions.
Yeah, the track even changed during that race. It started to puddle up. I actually went off a couple of laps from the end because I didn't realise that there was a puddle on the line in turn 1. You might have seen that. So I was lucky to get away with it. I thought I was off, but hey, brilliant weekend, I suppose. And thanks very much to my sponsors and the team.
And importantly, he kept it on the island and looking forward to Croft.
Yeah, apart from that corner where I fell off. See you next time.
Thanks,
Cheers,
Ben.
bye.
Well, there we go. All 4 seasons in 1 race weekend. We hope you can join us next time when the action comes from Croft for the Mazda MX-5 Super Cups.